Thank you. I did now start recording. Good thing people remind me. Extra credit for Hype Shot. All right. So pretty much our assignment that we had. Oh, you're giving all the code away already. You define the number as a string or as an integer. Because if you define it as a string, then you could do the length. You guys are making it strings. You guys are lazy bones. So let's not make it a string at all. We're going to print stuff as strings, but I'm not going to make it a string. Let's see if I can get it to work without being a string. Yeah, till the end. So let's try to do this the easy way, I guess. So let's say I want to find the first number, which would be something, and I want to find the last number, which would be something, right? So the first number, can I just take the number x and divide it by 10? If I declare this as an integer, will that give us the first number? Me not going to talk too much. Me neither. Then with the last, I could take this as an integer and do the modulo. Then simply print the whole thing backwards. Oh, that worked. So if I take the number like 79, uh-oh, then I get an error. Oh, I have to call these by their string counterparts. I don't need this middle guy. Let's try this again. We're going to do a 3-digit number next. All right. So 79 became 97. Awesome. Yeah, how'd you guys know what the next thing was going to be? Not only a 3-digit number, but any size number. I want to write it in reverse. So we don't always know. No, this definitely won't work with a 3-digit number. This will only work with the 2-digit number. But we can try to get it to work with the 3. So let's do that. I'm going to declare any size numReverse. And it's going to accept the same number. So we're going to define it. Any size numReverse. It's going to accept some number. Call it A. I can call it whatever I want. All right. So the first thing we need to figure out how many digits is in the number. All right, you guys are going to want to convert it to strings right away, but let's hold off. Let's see if we could do this without using length. Let's pretend that we could do this mathematically and make some sort of algorithm that will make things more fun. Not saying the tomorrow's surprise quiz is going to deal with stuff like that, but probably is. All right. So I want to figure out how many digits are in the number. So what I'm going to do is use some sort of loop. And I like this while loop because I'm lazy. I'm going to have some integer, I, which equals 0. I don't even need to write that in Python. All right. So I equals 0. And down here somewhere, I plus equals 1. Oh, excuse me. I'm lazy. I'll say, well, this is true. We could get this to work. All right. So we need to add some logic. So we need an if statement. So if something happens, we're eventually going to have to break the loop. What should happen? How can we get this to not work anymore? Let's see. What if we said, what if the integer version of x divided by 10 or x divided by 10, what if this thing was less than or equal to 0? But how can I get this part, this 10, to correlate with the number of places in the thing? So like, you know, if the number was 8, 8 divided by 10 would be that. But what about 8 divided by 100, 8 divided by 1,000, 8 divided by 10,000? How can we figure out how to use these i's to determine when this becomes true? So let's say if the number is like 5,000, how can we determine that it needs to be divided by 1,000? What type of math can we do down here to get that to work? Yeah, no, good questions. I would like good answers. So that means for a one-digit number, right, we divide by 10. For a two-digit number, we divide by 100. For a three-digit number, we divide by 1,000. How can I get this progression to work? To go by 10, 100, 1,000, stuff like that. All right, so how can I get this to raise to powers? How can I get this 10, 100,000 using I as a relationship to do like exponents? Isn't it the 2 stars with an I? Yep. Cool. So then if we get that to work, then we could break the code. So after all this is true, we finish the loop. All I want to do is print out whatever the value of I is. And I'll make it a string so this way we can print it out. All right, so let's see what happens. And we're going to get weird results at first. So if we have, let's say, 100, that should be the second power. Oh, true. So if we have 100, name x. Let's just close this guy off. Where's x? That's here. Ah, all right. So we'll actually run that. We don't have a semicolon. All right there? All right. This is what happens when you use too many languages at one time. So that's something you do in Java. All right, where's x? Okay, in this case it's a. I'm being lazy, so I'll switch it back. All right. All right, so I did 100, it actually went to 3 places, because that's what ended the loop when this became false. So I'm going to say is, when this condition actually happens, I want to make the I go back down to one place. So if I did, let's say 1,000, it'll say it's 4, because it's 4 places. But I want to go to the 3rd power, which makes it a number that we work. So I'm going to do is say, all right, let's take I and let's go down by 1. So that'll be 10 to the 3rd power if we did 1,000. Cool. All right, 10 to the 3rd power is 1,000. So that's good for us so far. So now we know what I is. So I could kind of cheat it in here. Raise I to the power. Let's see. Raise I to the 3rd. Awesome. So that's kind of helping with that. So now we want to actually take a number and print it backwards. We know how long the number is. We know it's 4 places or 5 or whatever it is, and we know what number to raise to. So I could sort of use this idea again. So what I'm going to do is stay inside of this function, but do some more stuff with it. So this loop ends. We know the value of I being whatever the place is. So it's telling us what is the biggest exponent of 10. Cool. So now let's see if I could do stuff with this. So I'm going to take a temporary number. I'm going to call it temp. I'm going to set it equal to x. Just because I might want to keep the value of x, but I'm going to be messing with it a little bit. Then I'm going to create another loop. So for j in the range of something or other. And we'll do stuff in the range. All right. So in order to cheat now, I'm going to actually create a string called builder. And I'm going to set that equal to nothing. All right. So what we're going to do is for this loop, where did I put that? I don't want to put that there. I wanted to put that here. All right. For this loop, we want to start at I. We want to go to 0, so I'm going to say do that -1 trick, and I want it to go down by 1. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is set these numbers to things. So I'm going to say, hey, builder, you're going to equal some math stuff. So I'm going to take that temporary number, I'm going to divide it by 10 to, I think the j, whatever it is in this case. And then I'm going to concatenate it to whatever was in builder originally. Just to make that a little bit straighter up, we'll call that a string. So we take the value of the string, whatever it is, of the number divided by 10 raised to j, and then we'll add it on to builder. Builder has nothing in it to start with, so we'll take the first number and I'll shove it in there. Then we're going to take the temporary number, which we kind of use. It's temporary, it's going to change on us. And we'll kind of get the remainder of what's left. So x remainder, the temporary number X remainder 10. Sorry, temp remainder. Temp equals X remainder. I can actually do a temp as well. Of 10 raised to the J. See if this works. One, two, three. So 3, 2, and then some other stuff going there. So let's write this as an integer. So this way it doesn't get cloudy. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. I actually put too many numbers. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we took a 3-digit number, which was 1, 2, 3, and we just rewrote it as 3, 2, 1. Does it work with a 4-digit number? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Cool. So let's go over what's going on so you guys could see it a little bit. So this loop is just determining how many places there are, how many digits, how many numbers. This loop is just taking a number to break it down. Like here's the first number, we'll shove it at the end. That's why this code. Take whatever the number is and just put it in there, shove it to the end. So always push new information in front of what was originally there. And it started off with nothing there. So that's why the first number is the last number. And then it continues to go no matter what the size of the number is. So let's use a large number. Let's do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, cool. I know you guys could have taken a shortcut and done this, just converting the whole thing to a string and then played with it. But I think it's cool to do some math, especially tomorrow we have a quiz. And the quiz is going to make you do math where you're going to have a hard time converting it to string and playing with it. It's just going to be straight up math stuff. It's pretty straightforward. It's going to be pretty easy. I'll go over it. Well, a 3-digit number should be, was it 10 to the second? I'm talking about hex shot. That was a little bit before. All right. Any questions with this, guys? This is just some more ways to play with it. Tomorrow, we're going to have our Zoom meeting. This time, ask questions. Those of you who didn't really ask questions, just hung around, ask questions, guys. I'm here to help you guys. Turn your cams on, please, if you have it on your phone and your iPads. Let's see some of you guys' faces. I haven't seen you guys in a bit. Don't be shy. I'll be there looking at you guys as well, so you can see my face. If not, tomorrow the quiz will be up. The quiz will probably be up tonight, and it'll go into tomorrow. It'll be due Sunday. All right, any other questions, guys? Peace.